Last time we left off at the bottom of the red cloak challenge. So if you are just interested in any percent, you can skip ahead in the video after I get the red cloak, because we just continue to the left in that case. You wouldn't stop the blink in the water. But in trending, we need to do the red cloak challenge in order to get the red cloak. So you would stop in the water here and blink up. And usually I hold the cloak and I blink left to go to the challenge more quickly. So now we are going to start the challenge. And the path we are going to take is the following. So here I would slide, jump, and blink into the water. I blink into the water, and at the end of the aqueduct, I will hold up right to try to have a good blink out of the water. And that will allow me also to hop above the ground, so it's a little bit faster. I think I will blink also, let's see. And then you want to hold slide and left and slide on the ground. So like this, but I didn't get it, let's try again. Like this and blink, like this, and you slide here. Now on this part, you really don't want to jump, sorry. So you want to slide, but you don't want to jump until the very end of the second platform. And the reason is, if you jump too early, you will fall too early too, and you might miss the opening in the wall. In this case, because we have skipped the moose, we are fine. We have the wire from the teleporter. But if you don't activate the wire, or if you do it without moose skip, you really need to go into the small hole in the wall on top of the teleporter. So let's take back a little bit of speed here. Would that be enough? So here you can blink several times to try to reach it. So that's it. Oops. So that's the place you want to reach. Usually, if you don't pause in the middle like I did, you will have enough speed with the slide, but you don't want to jump until the end of the second platform. And if you hold slide, you may get a boost where I just got it. So let me just so on the top right where I entered and where there is a scroll, I got a boost. You don't always get it, but what is important is actually not the first one, but the second one right now. So hold slide again, and when you touch the ground here, you might get another boost, and you really want to get it. If you don't, it's fine, but it's a very good one. So I didn't get the second one, as you can see, but if you get it, just get used to good movement here, because there are two main obstacles on the way. There is first the button of the television, that is here, and second there will be the button of the light bridge. Now remember, we have activated the light bridge and we have removed the invisible wall. So we are fine, we can jump over the buttons and don't mind about activating them. Just don't forget to put the cloak. So here it's the usual slide, jump and blinks, but you will need to get a little bit used to this to know when you can jump or not to avoid the buttons. Like here, you would, for instance, jump above it and blink, and here the same. So here you see I should blink like just before entering this room. Then, like exiting the tower, I would jump here and blink usually. And with the momentum, that would be a fine setup like this. So I will redo it to show you more properly what it looks like. Then you just cross the bridge again with your momentum. And at the end of the bridge, also pay attention, jump above this gap, and you will just land into the harpoon and activate the harpoon. We need it for later, so don't jump over this one, we need to activate it. So let's see what it looks like in a proper attempt. So jump here, can blink. So here we didn't get the boost, let's try to get the second one. We didn't get the second one either. So just gain momentum by sliding and jumping. Here, jump now. Don't forget the cloak. Keep the momentum. Here, pay attention to the gap in the ground. Jump, activate the harpoon. And here, I blink into the wire and I activate the minimap. This will just help me in a second to try to get a stylish blink that I don't get very often. But for now, just hold slide out of the wire. We will arrive in the hub. And when you arrive in the hub, also, you have to jump above the gap. So here I hold slide and left, and I jump here and jump again. And with the minimap, I try to be approximately at the edge of the shaded area, but I don't have a good visual cue. Actually, it's more of a feeling, and try to blink like this. So you can do this in one go, or you can just land on the roof and do it. I will split now. So when the golden door appears, because I don't have to care about the inputs during this cutscene, so I can split easily when the golden door appears and when it makes this noise of a kind of a bell. And out of the challenge, I will just do the same. So I will slide, jump and blink like this. So we can remove the minimap. And same movement here. Of course, here I hold slide because sometimes you get boosts. So if it's in a place where you potentially want a boost, just hold slide. If it's a place where you don't want a boost, don't hold slide. That's a basic idea. So just jump here, use the cloak and fall down. You can do it in one go and blink through the electricity directly, but I usually don't do it and I land here and do it in the second step. And now we have the red cloak. So we need to get out of this room, and to do it, I go here, use the cloak, and then I will use the red cloak to jump from one side of the wall to the other. I will try to use the cloak when I'm here, but not without momentum. So I will walk up and use the cloak when I'm here, and usually it allows me to reach the other side. Sometimes it also leads me into the thorns. So be prepared for this to happen, but this is still more or less consistent, like this. So let me show some. So if you miss it, sometimes we just go into these thorns and you have to try again. But that's fine. Just try to get accustomed to this. So once you leave the left wall, just release the red cloak and put back the blue cloak. There are other ways to do this. For instance, if you jump and blink to the right, it's another possibility. So jump, but you see here, I probably jumped too soon, and so I was pushed into the thorns. So that's why usually I try to use the cloak like this. And here, I will blink left, and hold slide because I also get boosts regularly here, like this. And this is better to reach this platform. So now we have the red cloak and we're on our way to Fafnir. So just blink in the water and hold down here to try to get through this water. So this didn't happen now, but hold left down and you should go here. Here, once I land in the water, I just water blink again to get here. And here I would slide, jump and blink again. Then grab the ladder. Here we do a ladder climb that you should know by now. And here on Fafnir, I will slide, jump when I'm on the edge here, blink in the air and hold slide and mash jump. And I should be able to climb it on the other side. Like this. So mash jump. Sometimes you reach here directly, but even if you're further down, it's okay. Like if you come from here and just hold slide and mash jump, it will work eventually. And here I will still hold slide and jump. I will try to do a blink here to blink through the poison, something like this. And this also makes me go above the rock. Let me just mention that if you have power slide here, try still to jump above the rock, because if you destroy the rock, you see it will free this chain around Fafnir, and so Fafnir will shake and it's not very convenient for the rest. So even with power slide, try to avoid this. So here continue the slides and the jumps. Put the cloak here to walk on Fafnir. You can also blink. And here, with the red cloak, I would just push myself to the next part like this. So sometimes it pushes you further away, you can blink, but it's a bit risky, so just take as much risk as you're comfortable with. But now be very careful, because this is one of the worst parts of what can happen. If you touch the poison, and sometimes it's just the bounce of the droplets, and you die, you may respawn where I am here. But sometimes you respawn all the way into the water here. And this is heartbreaking when this happens. It's not clear whether you need to walk down here or go somewhere in the middle in the air. I'm not quite sure what activates the checkpoint or not, so just be aware that this is a possibility, and in any case, just try not to die, of course. And on this conveyor, also, the movement can be a bit tricky, so like it's not always good to have a direction. Like it will not really make you go faster, you know, to hold right than doing nothing. And same for the slides. So just take the time that you need to do this movement. And when it's the moment of the droplet, just take your time and blink to be sure to avoid them. And once you're ready, you can jump to here. Now, this is the last part of this split, actually. So we are going to do Fafnir skip, but I need to explain a few things. So first, Fafnir skip, it was what allows us to also skip the moves and power slide. And to do it, we are going to use an out of bounds, which I need to explain. Now, I want to do some videos about out of bounds, so maybe I'll have another opportunity to explain this in more detail. But what you need to know for this one is the following. You will need to stand on this wall here, between the poison and the magnet, like I'm doing right now. And to get the out of bounds, we are going to release the cloak and put it back like this. And when we do that, we are going to blink through the wall. Now, it's not completely a normal blink. We need to use the macro to make it simpler. To explain the macro, I refer you to the Oxymor's video. I will put a link in the description that goes into more detail about it. But it's a way to bind both slide and blink on the same button. So let me show you in my setup how it's done. So I have actually blink on square by default, but I will use this square button to use the macro. My new blink button is actually a circle. And you can see that here I also have square for slide and Mjolnir. My normal slide button is this one, it's L2. So because I'm using the gamepad, this is my normal buttons if you want. And I use the keyboard tab to do the trick. If you play on keyboard, just do the reverse. Now the problem is, if you're playing on console, you can do this, but you will not be able to keep another button for slide. So you will have to reset the macro after you do it. So that's one issue that we have with this. But basically what you need to do is to set this button to your new blink button. Then you change your blink button to whatever you want. Put slide on the default blink button, and then reset blink. So for instance here, if I would put this on, let's say, I'm just putting it on triangle to explain. So my usual blink, I put it on triangle. Then I would go here and put Mjolnir on square. I change the blink to whatever I'm using. So here I'm using circle. And then I go back here and just reset this one. And this way you can trick the game into having two inputs, two skills on the same button. Now, what this allows us to do is that when you will push this button now, it will use first the slide or Mjolnir when we have it, and then the blink. So technically you can do the same if you manage to slide and blink normally. You can also do it with some post buffer. So I will explain the post buffer in a second, but let's just show to you, this trick. So I will release the cloak and put it back, and while I'm rotated, I will use the macro and push right. And this allows me to clip out of bounds. So it might sound hard, maybe my explanation is not the best, but it's actually pretty easy to do. You just need to set up the macro on one button, and then you rotate by releasing and putting back the cloak, and push this macro button while holding right. So you need to keep the cloak here so that you stick to the magnet. Once you're out of bounds on the magnet, you go to the right and you want to reach this part. So here it was seamless, but sometimes you don't get it that easily. So a way to get it is just to stand on the left side of the magnet like this and blink to the right while holding the cloak, and you will reach this part. And from here, you want to jump from the magnet, so you will release cloak, hold right and push jump, and with that you will reach the room on the right, which is the room of Mjolnir. If you don't do it enough to the right, you may either fall into the poison here, or there's also a small space between the two rooms that you can fall in, but it's still in this room, so you won't be able to perform the trick. You can also just, jump from here and blink to the right when you're on the kind of the edge of the magnet, the curly part. But personally, to be safe, I just go there and then I jump and I reach the other room like this. And when you reach the other room, you can just quit and reload. And ta-da! You're in the Mjolnir room. So now the pause buffer that I was mentioning is the following thing that the Oxymore discovered. So when you're in the pause menu, go to the settings, activate one change, whatever. You don't need to change actually, but you just need to activate, like if you were about to change one of the bindings. Go back, and now look at Lumina in the background. I can move her. So here, left, right, for instance, but I can also blink. Just be careful, because here blink is also my back button. So it will go back in the menu, but she will blink. So if I hold right and blink, she will blink. So you can see the blink animation and you can see where she's going to arrive. So you can use this to perform the trick, because you can also hold slide, for instance, while doing this, or hold the cape. You cannot do multiple blinks, but this is the kind of things that you can do, and that may allow you to get the out of bounds. So now, when you arrive here, I would just slide, jump, and blink, and get Mjolnir. And I actually split when I get Mjolnir. So this is why you see now that square is my Mjolnir button, but actually I'm using L2. And here we are going to describe a very important technique before ending this part of the tutorial, which is the stomp-cancel blink, or blink-cancelled stomp, as you prefer. So while you're stomping, you can interrupt the stomp with a blink. And this is actually why the macro is also very useful for later on. So when I will press L2 to stomp, then I will press blink while holding left. And so that cancels the stomp and I can reach this this platform here. And then I will stop. I will go to the next room in the next part. But just to explain the stomp-cancel blink, so I will show it again. So if I stomp, I can blink to cancel the stomp. And you can do it at any time in the stomp, right? So here, I don't have that much space to show it to you, but see? So I can really cancel at any point. But the important part is that, see, when you do Mjolnir, you actually gain a little bit of height. See? So with this stomp-cancel, you can actually reach platforms that are a little bit higher than what you could do without it. And also, you keep your horizontal momentum. So it's not here that we will see that the best. We'll see that for the air skip. But know already that this technique exists and what it does. And train this. So stomp and blink. And the macro allows us to do that just as a frame perfect input. So with just one button. So here I use the macro. And it might be a bit hard to see, but she actually stomps, then blinks. But if you do it manually, like this, and you can do it manually but fast, like this. And here you don't really see the difference with the macro. So now I'm going to do macro again, like this. All right, so that's it for this part of the tutorial. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you in the next part.